What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Brandon with the Morning After LSU, and this morning we're going to chat about the LSU and Florida game. It was in prime time, Baton Rouge, Tiger Stadium. Ended up being 42-28 with the Tigers victorious. Burrow had another monster night, 21 of 24, right at 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no sacks, no turnovers. Burrow also had about 43 rush yards too, so he was part of one of my keys when we were talking about impact players. Another impact player was Emory Jones, number 5 for Florida, and he was big in their game. He only ran for about 36 to 40 yards and didn't really pass a whole lot, but he was instrumental in third downs. And to me, what Florida was trying to do, the majority of the game is to keep the LSU offense off the field, long sustained drives, and basically wear down our defense and keep our offense out of rhythm. It was what you do against a high-powered offense. I've seen people try to do it to New Orleans Saints. I see people try to do it to the New England Patriots. I've seen people try to do it to Alabama. So now they're starting to do this to LSU, which is just a sign of respect, in my opinion. Now, the issue with that is LSU was scoring every time they get the ball, and it wasn't field goals. So LSU held true to what we thought they were. They scored 42 points. I predicted 42-17. I was called a clown. I was laughed at by some Florida fans, and that's fine. Everybody has to believe in something, and they believe in their team. Much respect to Florida, by the way. These guys played hard. I know they had some injuries at the beginning of the game, but that's why you recruit. We had tons of injuries all year along the defense, and our defense suffered for it. And everyone thinks LSU's defense is soft, and I'm not sure they're soft. We're playing with backups, man, so it's kind of what you get. In regards to Florida, mad respect, man. They had a game plan. The coaching staff for Florida did an excellent way of preparing. They got their guys ready. It just wasn't enough for the onslaught of offense that LSU brings to the table. And LSU did kind of what I thought they would do. They would play bend but not break, try to get Florida to kick field goals. We couldn't hold them to field goals. We ended up getting the turnovers that we needed late in the game. Fourth down stop. One question I have, which is big for me, is why on earth is Dan Mullen running an option with Kyle Trask on 4th down in the red zone? First of all, look at your position on the field. It's condensed because you're in the red zone. Secondly, Kyle Trask is not going to option on a 4. LSU's waiting on it. Like, don't do that. It's the weirdest thing. I couldn't wrap my head around that play call. I mean, are you really thinking that you're going to catch LSU off guard? If Emory Jones is running that, then I see the purpose, because that guy is a monster, man. And I wouldn't be shocked if Emory Jones wins the starting job next year at Florida because of his dual threat. But I think he's a really good passer. Like, he is a true, complete quarterback. Highly ranked. Highly recruited. I believe he was committed to Ohio State and switched to Florida. If I'm wrong, you guys correct me, but I think that's where his path was. But man, Florida played a hell of a game. I know I'm kind of all over the map right now. One thing, guys, I want to let you know is that when I do these videos, I don't have notes. I don't write down things. This is all just genuine, authentic, raw reaction. I don't have a set dialogue. We just talk about the game, talk about what I saw, give my honest opinion. So if I jump from topic to topic, that's kind of what I do. Moving forward. So Emory Jones for Florida, number 5. I figured he would be a difference maker for them. He was their third down chains mover. LSU didn't have much of an answer for him until later. But speaking of LSU, they held Florida to 7 points in the second half. So we're going to give the credit to the LSU offense. Let's give credit to the LSU coaching staff on the defensive side. They made adjustments for halftime. They held Florida to 7 points. That's what you want to do. Um, the problem with with Mullen's game plan is that LSU was scoring every time they got the ball. Their defense wasn't stopping us. They just couldn't, and everybody kept talking about this is this is going to be the toughest defense LSU has faced, and this ferocious pass rush and these lockdown corners. I knew, and look, with all respect, all due respect to Florida, okay, I know they got some NFL players on that team. I'm not crazy. I see it. They weren't stopping LSU. And I've said this in my prediction video. Football is played for offense these days. Football is not played for defense. You're not going to shut nobody down. You can slow people down or possibly create turnovers. But you're not stopping this LSU offense. If this was, in fact, the toughest defense we're going to face, look out when we play the rest of the schedule. We're halfway through the schedule. Burrow will win the Heisman. We're gonna rack up 50 the rest of the way. Our defense is stepping up. We're healthy. I think we played good enough to win last night on defense. But let me just say this: good enough is not great. And great, you got to be great if you want to win a championship. So good enough isn't going to win it for you. So we do have a lot of improvements to make. Like I said, Florida. Man, I didn't think that their quarterback would be so poised, and I'm really impressed with that. I'm really impressed with his preparation. He wasn't affected by the atmosphere, and if he was, he surely didn't show it. Now, he was managed by his head coach. I mean, he was just doing what he was asked to do. He's not doing. He's not being a playmaker. He's being a game manager. Just like Burrow is running the offense. Trask is doing what Mullen's telling him to do. I think that was kind of the difference in the game. But Mullen's a hell of a coach, man. He's outcoached us in the past, and it's not the first time. So I knew going into this game that both quarterbacks, Emory Jones and then Joe Burrow, those would kind of be the X factors, and it seemed to be hold true. I felt like Emory Jones was the difference when they scored that touchdown. It was a fake option. It was almost like a Tebow run where he fakes the run and he throws it. It's a play action is what it is, except Tebow would lean forward. This guy, he's optioning out like he's running, and then he stops. He kind of stays in the pocket, at the edge of the pocket, and then he launches it. So, that's something they're putting on film against Georgia and whomever else. Florida's going to play the rest of the way. So he tilted his hand on that trick play. But I tweeted last night, how many trick plays does Dan Mullen have up his sleeve? Because he was getting LSU on, there were some end rounds, there were some reverses. It's just, trying to catch an aggressive LSU defense out of position. And that's what good coaching is. That's exactly how Jamar Chase got free on that long backbreaker touchdown that we executed in the fourth quarter. He kind of did a rub route with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and the two defenders for Florida just kind of bumped heads, and it looked to the naked eye, it looked like a wheel route with Chase, but it was more to it than just that. And that was play calling, that was scheming, that was execution, that was taking the defense out of position. Because I don't think Chase can just outrun their number one cornerback. I mean, he kind of followed them around the field, and he got some plays. Listen, like I say, give Florida some credit. I was a firm believer that Florida didn't have the team to defend the entire field against LSU. And whenever they were playing press, we were kind of going over the top. When they were backing off, the dig routes were there, some slant routes were there on RPOs, and we were running the ball good. That's something that no one's really going to talk about. LSU had right at 300 yards passing and over 200 yards rushing. And that balance is going to propel LSU even more offensively. I'd like to see more pass rush with 18. He did get home on a play, and he affected the game. There were some design play call screens. There were some design swing routes. I mean, he's made tackles. He made tackles for losses. He did what he had to do. So, in summary, I liked what I saw. It was a hell of a game. Okay, my Twitter's going off. Hold on, guys. I got to take it off the screen. It was a hell of a game. It was an electric atmosphere. Everybody on the game day crew was just raving about the atmosphere. I'll be going to the Texas A&M game. I didn't want to go to this one, as weird as that sounds. I have to pick one game, and I want the revenge game at the end of the year. But to me, a hell of a game, hard fought between two great teams. I said that after LSU blows out Florida, they would be top two. If you look at the end of my last video, I proclaimed if and when we blow out Florida, because I had a lot of confidence, no disrespect to Florida, that we would be top two. Well, guess what? Georgia lost. So are the AP voters going to allow LSU to jump a bye week Ohio State? I think they should. It's the second top 10 team, and we looked really, really, really good doing it on a national stage. And if they don't, you know what? Screw it. It's good talking points for the AP poll. The real poll comes out in a few weeks for the playoff poll. We'll have a chance. We'll play Alabama. We have some other tough games in the schedule, and we're going to Mississippi State next week. I'll have a full preview and prediction video either Thursday or Friday of this week. And thanks so much for watching. Once again, LSU is victorious, 42-28. Halfway there, guys. Have a good one. Go Tigers.